What's your favorite orchid variety? Here at Tonkadale, we just got a fresh delivery of some beautiful orchids in the greenhouse. So this week, we're going to take a look at some of the more specialized varieties that we currently have available. One of the first options is the Oncidium Roots Rainbow over the Rainbow. Oncidium Roots Rainbow over the Rainbow is a gorgeous Oncidium hybrid developed in 2009 by H&R and is a cross between Oncidium sophistante and Oncidium sotoanum. A fragrant bloomer, Over the Rainbow produces abundant showy panicles of delicate burgundy and pink blooms 1 or 2 times a year above deep green strap-like leaves which emerge from storage organs called pseudobulbs at their base. Like other Oncidium of tropical origin, this orchid prefers intermediate to warm temperatures, generally between 60 degrees Fahrenheit and 85 degrees Fahrenheit. They love bright light, even tolerating some direct sunlight, thriving best in bright east, south, or west windows, or placed 6 to 12 inches from a grow light. When watering, water thoroughly with room temperature water, and when your orchid medium is at least halfway dry. Generally, this happens about every 5 to 10 days depending on the environment and the time of the year. Maintain conditions between 40 and 60% humidity using a humidifier or pebble tray to supplement humidity as needed. Fertilize regularly when actively growing, 1 or 2 times a month, with an orchid-specific fertilizer at half the recommended rate. Brassidosteel Gilded Tower Mystic Maze is an incredible hybrid orchid developed by J.W. McCulley in 2005. It's a cross between hybrid parents Brassidosteel Summit and Brasidium Gilded Urchin. The Mystic Maze, like other Oncidiae, generally bloom 1 or 2 times per year when new growth matures, usually occurring in spring and fall. Plants produce 1 or 2 tall, long-lasting inflorescences, up to 3 feet tall, with 10 to 15 blooms on each. Mystic Maze produces large, usually 5 to 6 inch wide star-shaped blooms, bright yellow in color with deep red-brown markings on the petal and sepals and bright red markings along the lip of the bloom. These showy panicles shine above deep green strap-like leaves that also emerge from a prominent pseudobulb that aids in water retention. Like Oncidium Roots Rainbow over the Rainbow, this orchid also prefers intermediate to warm temperatures, generally between 60 degrees Fahrenheit and 85 degrees Fahrenheit, and bright light, even tolerating some direct sunlight, thriving best again in east, south, or west windows, or placed 6 to 12 inches from a grow light. When watering, water thoroughly with room temperature water when your orchid medium is at least halfway dry, generally every 5 to 10 days, depending on the environment and the time of the year, and maintain conditions of 40 to 60% humidity using a humidifier or pebble tray to supplement humidity as needed. Fertilize regularly when actively growing 1 or 2 times per month with an orchid fertilizer at half the recommended rate. Psychopsis Mendenhall hildos is an incredibly unique, long-blooming orchid hybrid belonging to the Psychopsis genus of only 4 species and their related hybrids. Sold as mericlones, cloned from a meristem tissue of the original plant orchid, not unique seedlings. Hildos is a unique hybrid developed by Carter and Holmes in 1988 and is a cross between the species Psychopsis papilio and a hybrid parent Psychopsis butterfly. Flowering at intervals throughout the year, Psychopsis possesses tightly clustered, flattened, wrinkled pseudobulbs, often with red mottling, which each produce a single bloom spike of moderate height, around 10 inches tall, above solitary, erect, olive green leaves with deep, beautiful red mottled coloration. Psychopsis inflorescences are jointed, sympodial arched, wiry panicles whose bulbs bloom successively, with variation in size and color between blooming instances and even along the same spike, with each individual flower lasting an average of about 10 days. Requiring no rest between blooming instances, Psychopsis can bloom successively for years on end in optimal conditions, as long as 10 years consecutively. And as such, spikes should not be removed until they're yellowed and obviously spent. Even broken inflorescences will branch and continue to bloom. Living up to their common name of the butterfly orchid, Psychopsis produce intricate flowers resembling a butterfly, with a trio of delicate, deep red-brown, narrow sepals and petals, sometimes with yellow coloration throughout, at the top of the bloom, much like a butterfly's antennae. Above, down, swept bright, yellow and red-orange mottled lateral sepals, often thought of as the wings of the bloom, framing the large, three-lobed lip with a bright yellow center edged in red-orange coloration to bring together the iconic, absolutely stunning blooms of this amazing orchid. As a more unique species, care of these orchids is a bit more involved and specific to ensure your success. Psychopsis prefer intermediate to warm temperatures of around 70 degrees Fahrenheit to 90 degrees Fahrenheit in very humid conditions of around 80% relative humidity, along with great air circulation, intolerant of stale conditions. These orchids prefer lightly shaded conditions, generally preferring bright indirect light, thriving in east or west windows or about 12 inches from a grow light. They do like to dry out slightly between waterings, sensitive to overwatering and root disturbance. Psychopsis are also very sensitive to salt and mineral buildup in the soil, so wild plants will benefit from a light fertilizing at a quarter to half strength 1 or 2 times a month, or about every third or fourth watering while actively growing. Soil should be flushed with water regularly to avoid fertilizer deposit formation that will burn the sensitive roots of these plants. This is not the most beginner-friendly orchid available, but will be a deeply rewarding option for those up for a challenge. We hope you enjoy our orchid collection here at Tonkadale. As always, we're available for help with any plant care questions in person in the greenhouse or by email at hello@tonkadale.com. We'll see you at Tonkadale.